along the way. Hello?
Fernando,
I appreciate you calling.
we're going to be thrilled to make you the first pick in the draft here and welcome you to the dark side.
Thank you. Can't wait till it's work.
Hey, Tre Klint Kubiak, congratulations.
Thanks, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great, man. Welcome, man. You can be a captain here, too. I know you've been a captain 3 different times. We need another captain here. What do you think?
Whatever you need, Coach. I got you.
Hello? Hey, Dalton, John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you?
You want to come play with your own teammates, Dukes, in Las Vegas?
Coach, you know I do.
Hello?
Hey, Zeke,
Yes, sir.
you want to come to Las Vegas, be a Raider?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Hey, Zeke, Coach Kubiak here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. Congratulations. Welcome to the team, man.
Appreciate you, Coach. Boy, you won't regret it. Appreciate you, Coach.
We're excited to have you, man. We need guys that can cover and take the ball away. Are you that guy?
Yes, sir. I'm that guy. Yes, sir. 100%.
Hey, Trey, John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You want to be a Raider?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, hey, we're really excited to have you. Love your toughness. Love the way you can play multiple positions in the same game.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. Hello?
Hey, Mike, John Spytek with the Las Vegas Raiders. You want to be a Raider?
I do. Come on. Let's do it.
All right. Well, you're in. You're on the dark side.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
We got a great plan for you. Billy, this is John Spytek. I'm a GM in Las Vegas. How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. You want to get on a team and be a Raider?
Hell yeah.
Let's go. We need speed.
Man, I can't wait, man. We're going to go crazy. Let's go, man.
Welcome to the Silver and Black.
We're gonna rock the hell out. I promise.
Make sure you keep improving when you get here. Got me?
Listen, I got you.
Jamad, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Coach. How you doing?
Man, I hope you're as fired up as I am to get you here, brother.
Welcome to the dark side, my friend.
Let's go! Let's go today!
All that matters is today. Stay present, man. 3.5 hours. Do this together, man. It starts with us. It ends with us.
Hey, no cheers! Hey, we got.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
Yes, it's the Raider you love to hate. Yes, it's the Raider you love to hate. It's the Raider bad guy you love to hate. No, I'm just talking, but no, I ain't. I don't know if y'all been here, but I've been on this thing all day today. This is my 3rd live today. The first one was awesome, was great. Y'all can go to the channel, check that out. But the one y'all should go check out is the last one that we just did, the one on Raider Twan channel. If you don't like me, you're going to love him. So y'all might want to go see it because it was things of epic proportions on that thing. And I'm so happy that my brother doubled back with me. This is his 2nd one today. And what we're going to do is something a little lightweight tonight on this one is we're going to go watch the presser. So this is going to be low volume right here because I think we already kind of expended a lot of energy on that last show, but make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button for us on our channel so we can get it in the algorithm because we're working hard today. So we appreciate those that popped in early. Let me say thank you to Sacktown Raider Mike. You know what it is, brother. Hawaiian Kids. That's good. What's good? Alec. These your people. Majid, is that how you say it? I hope I'm saying that wrong. If not, I apologize. But welcome in. So we're going to get to the presser, man, and get straight to it. You have anything you want to say, brother?
Hey, go ahead and hit that, you know what I'm saying? Don't be mean. Go ahead and double tap that screen and go ahead and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? If you have not, we moving and grooving and doing what it do. So definitely stay in tune. All right. Blessings to everybody out there.
Yeah, so I do want to see what we're talking about in the presser because I think it's important because a lot of time people maybe they're not watching these pressers because there's a lot of information that's being given and a lot of the points that my brother he pulls from and I pull from because it's kind of like football, like we're watching film. And not only are we watching it, we're breaking it down. We're watching it more than once, and we really learning to understand when to read between the lines, when to accept things as they actually are. So that way we have something that we can treat our PTSD with, our post-traumatic Super Bowl deficiency. So that's why we're able to have well mental health when it comes to these Raiders, because we see the things happening either before they happen or while they're happening. And the crash out never comes. The crash out for me only comes when the people that's not paying attention is trying to tell me what it is when I already know what I've seen and what I've heard. So we're chilling tonight. We're gonna watch the presser. My favorite guy, AOC, is on there. We got Tre Tucker, we got Coach Koob, and we got Brock Bowers. So this is Friday evening. I hope you guys had a very, very good week. I know it's been rough for a lot this week, but you made it through and you got a chance to relax now. So without further ado, let's get to the video. And I want to say what's up with you, Ray. I appreciate you. You always hack in too. He said, "Who's the MC of this stream?" Um, I don't know. Maybe Twine can be the. You know what? You got a point. Let me switch. Let me get out the captain's chair and put Twine in there. So whenever you want to, whenever you want to start, if it's something you want to stop and talk about, just start talking and then I'll stop it. Okay?
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
get it in.
Yeah. So thank you, Ray, because I'm an equal opportunity MC. So let's get to it, man. Let's see. Put your tray tables up in the upright position, your chairs for takeoff. And once we get to a cruising altitude, then you can let back your chair and we will be serving game mid-flight.
Ready when you guys are.
Man, it's only 3 practices in, but with your early takeaways, what's on the quarterback?
It is early, like you said, but I'm pleased with where they came back from the off season. Pleased with how they're working. It's a positive start.
We saw Quiddy Pay leave practice or doing an individual drill here. Is everything okay with him?
He is, yeah. We're trying to be smart this time. Guys get little nicks there. We want to make sure that we get him to the full padded day. So we're going to be smart with him.
Klint, when you watch Joe DiCamillo's coach today, he was doing just like 27 training camp drills I've not seen, just his attention to detail, the little things. And it's really resonant of you and all your staff. But would you talk about Joe's commitment to the minutia, please?
Yeah, I got to know Joe as a young coach in Denver, and is the kind of guy that I aspire to be, as prepared as he is. And he's hard on the players, but he loves them up. He's just very detailed, experienced coach that we're really fortunate to have in our organization.
What are you seeing with the way the first group in that offensive line is coming together so far?
Yeah, it's so early. I like how they're working. I like their attention to detail. I like how they're finishing. It was our first day in our spider pads, and we'll just keep building them, keep banking reps, but we have a long way to go.
It seems like every big play today, Brock Bowers was there. What about him makes him be such a weapon in this offense?
Yeah, the ball found him today, but there's guys on our team that offensively, especially, we're really excited about Brock and Trey and Jalen and Mike and Ashton and guys that, we just got to keep getting them more and more reps, get them comfortable in the system so we can go get ready to play here in about a month.
How important is it that multiple guys are able to play multiple positions with different groups, group 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, but it's mixing and matching different guys?
Yeah, the guys that aren't an established guy, that's probably 90% of the team, in order for them to make the roster is special teams and playing multiple positions, receivers that can play all 3, fullbacks that can play tight end and vice versa, DBs that can play corner, nickel, and safety. So that's how you make the roster in the NFL.
How impressed have you been with?
Let me jump in right there about the special teams thing, because some people may kind of wonder why Kubiak is saying the special teams thing, and we usually don't hear that about even your starters. The best way to get on the field if you're not a starter is showing yourself on special teams. and that's giving yourself the ability to contribute to the team any way you can, and it shows that you're humbling yourself and that you're being selfless. And if you go out there and you perform, that's how you earn time on the field, even if you're not a starter. So, or even when if the starter was to go down or start playing below the standard that's being set, then you already have your mind frame wrapped around the football game because you're in the game still, versus just being on the sideline and pouting and wondering why woe is me and all that other stuff. That's not something that we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is obvious that, hey, this is a team. There is no I in team. There's no there is a me in team, but we're trying to turn that me into we. So as long as we have that mentality where we'll do anything to just win, and I don't mean like desperate like that. I mean like anything that it takes to create that winning culture and attitude, then that's how you make this team and be a part of the team and earn your shield.
And I think with this head coach, he's emphasizing special teams because it is a definitely something we have to address. You know what I'm saying? We always are so enamored with the offense and the defense, but there's not just two sides of the ball. There's actually three sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Offense, special teams, and defense. You know what I'm saying? So if you can win games special teams wise. You know what I'm saying? And that's where he's looking to maximize the totality of this team. So him putting an emphasis on special teams and the players that are on special teams is going to be key to the success of our team overall. So as a head coach, he needs to not only focus on his offense and defense, but he needs to also keep an eye out on that special teams.
Yeah, that's an excellent point that you raised because you got to win the game at all three phases. It's easy to focus on offense and defense, but special teams can lose you more games than anything, right? Because you can play good on both. How many times on both phases, and then the kicking game might come short, or we do something and then we kick off the ball and then give up good field position and all that other stuff, or you get a penalty or something. So I'm really loving that, and I love the fact that we're emphasizing everything matters. Everything, literally everything matters. And then also the update on Quiddy Pay. He just essentially said he want to make sure he do it right this time. We do it right this time, and make sure these guys get to padded practice, and that is very important because we were trying to put these players in the best position to succeed. Let's see. Ray said, "I'm here so I don't get fined." We appreciate that for sure. If you do hit all these streams or you go and watch the playback, you do get extra credit in this course for sure. Because I want everybody to pass. Let's see. I'm always here for the Redder content and some laughs. Yeah, well, you missed a bunch of laughs earlier. I think I saw you pop in a little bit. I don't know if you was there for the last live, but it was a bunch of laughs. It was some stuff that almost make a grown man cry, but it definitely was enough to make a grown man raise his voice. So I'm telling y'all missed an epic live there. And he says special teams didn't have enough talent and the coach was trash. Yeah, and he was the first one to go. And now we have an elite special teams coach, so that's great.
Max Crosby's intensity and explosiveness out there, even after the time he's been rehabbing.
Yeah, I think it's just to be expected. That's who he is. I know when we line up there in a team period, and he could just ruin a play at any moment, in a good way for the Raiders. So it's not just installing plays; you're also installing plays. And oh, by the way, where's Max? Those are things normally you think about in a game plan situation. Sometimes you got game plan practice just to get a playoff.
So Twan, that's interesting to me, and I wonder how you feel about this because we were talking about how Max Crosby be wrecking practice, and people think he's being a habitual line stepper. That's what I called it, being a habitual line stepper. Yeah, you was there. Yeah, he was there. Dang, you've been rocking with your boy a lot lately. I appreciate you, man. But Coach Kubiak just sat there and said, like, look, Max is Max. That's who he is. And now, not only that, that gets the team prepared, because a lot of teams are like, where's Max? So now we're paying attention to that detail instead of kind of like trying to temper Max a little bit. So is that what you heard, or am I just hearing that?
That, and also it's just an inconvenience because, again, remember that before they go out there on the field, the head coaches and coordinators are already scheming how they're going to run their practice. You know what I'm saying? And how they want things to be ran during practice. So there's a line in which, Max is definitely going to have to toe, because, again, at this point, my concern is that he, with Kubiak, he's trying to set the foundation of this offense, this team, etc. So if he's trying to, teach how to run a 2-minute offense, but Max Crosby is being the bull in the china shop, then that's not helping, the team get on the ball, you know what I'm saying, and move the change, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's going to help them because there is going to be some opposition when you're trying to do that, but there's also some, there's only a few moments to seconds and minutes to teach certain things. So if Max is in there, acting like he want to touch the quarterback and pull his towel or whatever, you know what I'm saying, just doing stuff like that, that ain't helping the situation. So Kubiak is just going to have to, bark at him when it's time to bark at him, and when he's really trying to teach something, or Max just needs to know when to not fool around like that.
Yeah, pick your battles, I guess.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like I heard Kubiak kind of embrace it to a degree. And I do agree with you, though, that there is a fine line. And Kubiak has to, know when to toe that line, because you're not going to stop Max from wrecking practice, because it hasn't been a coach yet that done it. And if Gruden essentially told him he was going to cut him for doing that. He came into the league doing that. So it is that fine line. So let me rewind just a little bit, and then we'll go on. But I do agree with what you're saying, though, because at this point right here is we're trying to install things, and maybe you could be that guy later on, maybe even once we get to padded days, because the whole padded practice day isn't just hitting, but maybe those are the days you could turn it up a little bit. But we definitely got to make sure Max know where that fine line is, because, like you said, that bull in the china shop mentality, it could do some damage a little bit.
Because this is also, and Black, let me say this too, that this is also a time where everybody doesn't know the playbook like that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to, the walkthroughs and stuff like that is, is crucial. And then when they do get out there to practice and they kind of let them go, it still is a moment, a retention moment. So if you're trying to get this play down, but then Max is being Max, then what growth is going to come from that? Like, I understand, like, after we feel like everybody knows the playbook, okay, let's get into, the variables, right? The things that might go crazy in this play. You know what I'm saying? Let's break that down later in camp. But what is this? Week one?
Yeah, week one.
Like, kind of temper it back a little bit. Let these guys get it a little bit before you start really testing if they know, not only if they know how to do it, but how to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hey Ray, you were talking about how it blew your mind how how many times how much they run through. There's a lot of stuff that they go through in practice, and that's why the real good coaches is time management. You know what I'm saying? Like they're running this here, and then the horn blows, and then they're running to something else, you know what I'm saying? And they're doing something else there, and then they go, you know what I'm saying? They're constantly moving through those times because there's only a certain time limit that they can actually be out there on the field. So they have to maximize those moments. That's why certain teams, later on you'll hear about players that talked about we didn't use our time wisely and et cetera, et cetera. And players are like that. They're like, look, there's only about an hour and a half that we can be out here on this field. So let's get in as much as we can so that we're prepared instead of the sit around moments and things, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's one of the things that they talked about early too, was that Kubiak was one of those guys that was really into time management. So they're moving and trying to get a lot of stuff done in order for these players to retain the playbook and whatever it needs to be done.
Yeah, because I remember Kubiak he was like the team was getting hyped and it took a couple minutes to do that. And he was like, I'm cool with it, but I'd rather spend more time practicing because we only have so many minutes out the day to get it done.
They took too much time shaking hands. And he said that, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's about that business. And I mean, everybody that hits this podium and they ask him what they think of Kubiak, they always say he's all football. So
yeah,
he's about that football for real.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he is in the NFL.
How impressed have you been with Max Crosby's intensity and explosiveness out there, even after the time he's been rehabbing?
Yeah, I think it's just to be expected. That's who he is. I know when we line up there in a team period, and he could just ruin a play at any moment, in a good way for the Raiders. So it's not just installing plays; you're also installing plays. And oh, by the way, where's Max? Those are things normally you think about in a game plan situation. Sometimes you got a game plan practice just to get a playoff.
You just talked about.
See, sometimes you got a game plan practice just to get a playoff. See what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like you know what? He bringing that pressure for a reason. And so we just got to coach better then. That's kind of how I took that. Because he said even during the install periods. I don't know.
I see both sides of it, though.
Yeah. No, I see your side, too. Absolutely.
Game planning, going up against this defense for 3 days now, just how difficult is it going to be with how versatile they are for opposing offensive coordinators to game plan against you all?
Yeah, I think for Rob's building a foundation. We have, a lot of players, especially DBs, that are playing multiple positions, and we have a system to learn. So he's got a lot of teaching to do, and just like the offense, they just got to keep stacking days.
You reach competition with every position group. How have you kind of seen that play out so far during training camp in terms of intensity and how everybody's pushing one another?
Yeah, anytime that a guy knows that his spot's in jeopardy, there's no one's comfortable. So that's great for coaches, for players to not be comfortable. The NFL does a really good job of making sure that's a reality. So that's when our team can be competitive at all positions, and our young roster can push the veterans, and we're gonna keep getting better.
We've seen a lot of Nakobe Dean and Clay Walker. What are your thoughts on that duo as a linebacker for?
Yeah, on paper it looks great. Everyone's excited about it. I'm excited about it. But they got to gel and they got to come together and now come be Raiders. So we're working on that.
How much value do you think Michael Mayer has in the past?
And I go back to watching Michael at Notre Dame, and he's always open, catches everything, and he's extremely unselfish in the run game. So he's had a really positive start, to be expected.
I like that right there.
Been on position a lot.
You want me to stop it?
Also in other places, when you take a guy like Connor Hayward, how valuable?
I feel like we forget about Michael Mayer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that Kubiak is seeing like, hey, Michael Mayer. I even liked him out of college. You know what I'm saying? And what he brought to the table. That means, and I'll say this is that he's also looking at, because to be honest with you, I don't think we even use Michael Mayer as much as they used him like they used him in college. So. Who knows what, Kubiak has in mind for for Michael Mayer. You know what I'm saying? We all are enamored with Brock Bowers, but if you think about it, and I know this is not necessarily fully the case, but think about if you had two Brock Bauer you know what I'm saying, tight ends out there at the same time. That presents a problem. Where it's not necessarily that Michael Mayer is just a blocking tight end, that Michael Mayer can get just as busy as Brock Bowers out there. Because Michael Mayer, it has always been, in my opinion, he has always been could be a starting tight end on good majority of these teams out here. So for Klint Kubiak to see that and refer to, possibly the things that we saw out of Michael Mayer out of college, who knows what may be unleashed with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer under Kubiak.
Yeah, another thing I like what he said about Mayer is he's unselfish in the run game. I've tried to express this a lot, that this Kubiak system requires everyone to block, Brock Bowers included. Maybe not as much as Mayer or whatever, but Brock blocks. I see him block a lot, a fair amount for a person that is our number one weapon on offense at this point. So it was good to see that about Mayer, and you raised another great point that we probably haven't seen the best of Michael Mayer yet, and this is his contract year too, and he don't drop passes. That's true. I can definitely say that they might slap him when he get it, because they act like, oh my God, he caught the ball, and it's almost like the defense get mad and they be really giving it to him, but he keeps on ticking, and so it's good to see that. Like you said, we probably have yet to see the best of Mayer yet, so that's an excellent point. Let's see, Justice for 12, what's good with you, my bro? He said, we blew that middle rep thing out of proportion. I knew exactly what Keyron Crawford was trying to say. Let me tell you this. I knew exactly what he was trying to say too. But as a player, just to kind of give him a jab, I was playing around with the mental reps thing. That's why I call him that, because it's like I haven't heard that term in a minute. So I was just really giving him a hard time. I'm totally fine with the mental reps. I am. I just would have a problem with mental reps when camp starts, and so I was just giving them a hard time about the mental reps thing too. But I'm gonna keep giving them a hard time about that too, because Keyron is one of the players that I love that we picked up. So I was giving him a hard time with the mental rep thing. And I'm here so I just don't get fined. Says even the coaches have to have notes just to run practice, and that's how much work they put in these players. Facts. Then he says, Coach AP caught heat for wasting the players' time and not putting in that work. Too many tall tales from the coaches. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. I can see Connor Hayward playing tight end in 13 personnel.
Yeah.
Oh, you say this is your first time watching the press conference? This is my first time too.
And with Connor Hayward, just to talk about that, there might be a situation where they line him up at tight end, and then they motion him back down to a fullback, you know what I'm saying, and then run the ball. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, or vice versa. They might it might look like a, you know what I'm saying, it might look like I formation, and then they motion, and then now they just flexed out Connor, you know what I'm saying, to be tight end. So there's a lot of things that can be done in flexibility with having, you know what I'm saying, two guys at tight end that actually can be receivers. You know what I'm saying? There's no slacking off when it comes to those two guys. You know what I'm saying? Certain situations, one team has a really good catching tight end and the other one's, a blocker, so you don't have to really watch that guy. But this team, both guys can be passing threats.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you. I'm with you on this one. Coons better step it up this season for sure.
or he gonna take mental reps with another team.
Yeah, I was just about to say because he already got 1 foot out the door. You're right. He gonna be taking mental reps with another team. He said, "Get the players comfortable in the system. How we getting the players in the position to win?" He said, "Oh, we're getting the players in a position to win." Coach Carroll was treating the fans like they were stupid in those pressers many times. He was so full of crap. Poor Pete Carroll. He tried to help us, and look how we. Well, he kind of did a lot of that to himself too, though.
Is he not only in the passing game but also just in getting the run game? That H-backs position a lot in Seattle and also in other places. You know, when you take a guy like Connor Hayward, how valuable is he not only in the passing game but also just in getting the run game going as well?
I think your fullback has to be one of your smartest players on the team. You know, for us to be able to, you know, block the two-back run game and block the drop-back protections and to play all the special teams, you got to be in great shape and you got to be really smart. And, you know, Connor's made a really good first impression. Patrick Gird's pushing him as well. Love the competition there.
I know you have a plan for Jamad McCoy, but what have you seen from him so far through 3 days?
Yeah, I think he's been available for 3 days, which is a really positive start. So just keep stacking days or keep monitoring his mileage and just see how he comes and recovers the next day. But to see him out there, you know, get as much work as he's getting has been excellent.
Fernando said that he's feeling more comfortable out there, but he's still a ways away from where he wants to be. Just where do you want to see him still grow?
Yeah, I love the mindset that he has. That's all of our players should have. Nobody has arrived, especially a rookie quarterback. So you just keep giving them a new rep every day and coach from it, and then go back the next day, solve the problem, and go to work fixing new problems. So he's just like everybody else. That's got to earn their way.
Especially a rookie quarterback. I'm just saying, these are little things that I have to point out because that's what sticks out in my mind when I hear these things. So when we talk about what we talk about when it comes to, you know, Fernando, these are the things that I hear.
You crave guys who have the versatility, and every day Dylan just shows up lobby somewhere, specials, running. Your thoughts on him, please, Klint?
Yeah, just another guy that is a solid teams player that is very bright and has made a solid first impression. So those running backs, you know, like I said in OTAs, their true colors come out when the real football starts. So we're still in underwear out there, but I can't wait to watch him and Ashton and all of our backs, you know, Mike, keep growing and keep getting good reps.
Fernando was saying the difference from college is the attention to detail. You take him in the film room, thought it was a good play, and you kind of pick it apart and show him. How well does he take those critiques and pushes?
He's very coachable. All the quarterbacks are. Really, all of our players are. We got guys that want to get better. So when they're eager to get better, you better make sure you're on it as a coach. So we got to challenge ourselves as coaches and make sure that we're giving them the right coaching points and help them get to where they want to get to.
The underrated competition of this training camp are the kickers. You know, what are your thoughts on Conce and Matt going into the training camp?
Yeah, I think it's just a daily battle and another position that's going to help make our team better with competition. So got some kicks in today. We'll just keep doing that throughout camp.
You found Zeke at the end of minicamp to come back strong after a good, you know, offseason program. We see him back out there getting more opportunities. Just what have you seen from him to earn those opportunities so far?
Yeah, I love where we are in the DB room. There's a lot of guys that are fighting to get on the field, and not everybody's going to start, but everybody's going to play special teams and in different personnel packages. So Zeke's just another one of those guys like Jermad and these young corners, these young safeties that are getting a lot of valuable reps right now, and we're learning about what they can handle.
You know what? I'm locked in. I'm not even going to let nobody tell me different. I'm locked in. Laser focus, like Tom Brady say, it's laser focus. I'm there. I've been working hard in the off season so that way when the season come, I'm already playing at mid-season level when the season start. You know, maybe y'all didn't hear what he said, but he said that everyone might not start, but everybody gonna play, whether it's special teams or whatever. The thing I emphasize the most, well, one of the things I emphasize the most is let's not get caught up with who's starting. It's about packages. It's who plays well in what packages. So that way, when we put a certain package on the field, we know what to expect from those players that's on the field. at that time. Yeah, masses might work well in a dime, but maybe not so much in a nickel. And I'm just using that as an example because I don't know that to be true. But I mean, whether he plays 5 plays, 10 plays, it all predicates how well he plays in different packages. Same thing with offense. Who plays well in certain packages. Sure, in offense is going to be a little bit more defined as who's starting, but with this new defense and Coach Robbie and what he's trying to do, it's about who does what and what packages. Like Tonka, he might not be a starter, but we know we're going to need him on third down when he's the type of D tackle or interior lineman that gets to the quarterback on passing downs. So that's a package that he just needs to make sure he does very well. Now, just like I've been hearing, if he decides to elevate his game where he can be in there on second down where it's like 2nd and 5 when we don't know if they're going to play action or not, or and he can be in there, and if they do run it, he isn't a liability and he can make tackles. But if he ain't at that point yet, he's just going to be in a certain package like on third down. And so it is what it is, but everybody's going to get a chance to showcase their talent. You got anything? Next man up, yeah.
During the offseason, you said personality was a big thing for you, bringing in new guys. What is it like seeing those pieces kind of come together now?
Yeah, everyone's personality is welcome, but their production, we tell them, is demanded. So we just want them to be themselves, be their best selves, and go produce, because nobody really cares about their personalities in our building. We just want them to play their best football.
What did you see out of Spencer Burford? I know he had some familiarity before, but what has he done to kind of show you guys that he can play?
Spencer is a guy that's got some really good film in San Francisco. He's come here and has gelled well with our system, and is a big part of this guard competition.
You mentioned that you wanted Fernando and Aiden to push Kirk. How has that played out so far this week?
Yeah, anytime they complete a ball better than he does or get it out faster than he does, and he should get pissed and want to do it better. Just that's the goal, and I think they've done that. In these first 3 practices, you got every guy doing something good every day, and it makes the other guy want to stay after practice a little bit longer to work on that throw that they missed. So it's a really bright room. Coach Sullivan's doing a great job.
Hold on, let me hear that again.
Doing something good every day he does, and he should get pissed and want to do it better.
Wanted Fernando and Aiden to push Kirk. How has that played out so far this week?
Yeah, anytime they complete a ball better than he does or get it out faster than he does, and he should get pissed and want to do it better. Just that's the goal, and I think they've done that. In these first 3 practices, you got every guy doing something good every day, and it makes the other guy want to stay after practice a little bit longer to work on that throw that they missed. So it's a really bright room. Coach Sullivan's doing a great job.
So that clarifies to me what he means by the next person pushing him. I think that kind of clears it up a little bit more what he means by that. Because if another player is playing at a certain level, hey, you don't want too many of them days to stack up, because the person who start week 1 isn't necessarily the person who's going to start week 17.
I mean, we know. I mean, the dream is that we could have a player, be healthy all 17 games, but that's not the case. So you're definitely going to have to prepare your backups and your depth to be ready to go whenever their number is called. So in order for you to get the best out of them, it has to be presented as a competition to sharpen. What is it? Iron sharpens iron. Like it has to have that aspect of things. So yeah, when Kirk Cousins throws a ball, but AOC throws a better ball, yeah, Kirk Cousins should feel some type of way, and want to get that better or have a better rep, or hey, I might have a bad day today, but tomorrow ain't gonna be that day. I'm gonna have a better day tomorrow. So those are the things that motivate these guys to play better, even though we know, well, most of us know how clear it is, depth chart is, but it still is a motivation to play better.
Facts. It says maybe Devin White comes back for depth role. I like Devin White. He definitely played well in that system, and he was brought in to play the way he played. And surprisingly, well, not totally surprised, but surprisingly, he really was as advertised. And I hope he really get a chance to continue to play because he did play well. Here's a question for you, Raider Twan. Who starts at right guard?
Right now, the guards that I have, I don't want to say right or left, but right now the guards that I have is Burford and JPJ. So I think JPJ most likely is going to really fine tune. I think JPJ might be the right guard.
I'm starting to change my tune a little bit back to what I originally said. I think that maybe the guards are going to be JPJ, DJ Glaze. I heard that Charles Grant was taking some snaps at right tackle, and I think Grant does. I think he fits what we're trying to do better than Glaze. But I don't want to take Glaze out of that rotation because he does have great experience. I mean, good and bad. And that's in year 3 is usually that year that it all comes together. So I don't want to take the steam out of the engine or the winds out of his sail because he is a starter in this league at this point for sure. So I'm thinking that they're gonna slide him over to guard maybe, and JBJ might have to play left. I don't know. That guard position is that's gonna be really the battle in the camp. That's like one of them because we have other ones at the cornerback position that's equally as intense. So I don't know. Who do you think? Who do you think is going to be the starting guard? Let us know who you guys think. Don't sleep on Caleb Rogers. I like his athleticism. Yeah, I'm not sleeping on him either because his name keep popping up as well. And they both came in under a regime in which they really didn't get a chance to showcase their skills. And even when they did, everything was so toe up. It's hard to gauge where they really were. So Coach Kubiak is going to put them in position to show their colors. And I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Rogers did make a jump. And from where he was last year.
But out of all of the guards, in my opinion, I think the most safest one is Burford.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think again, he was brought in by Kubiak, and he's the one that actually knows this offense. So I think he's leaning on him to kind of solidify. You know what I'm saying? That guard situation starting out, you know what I'm saying? It might be a situation where, Caleb Rogers is ready to go and, he may slide into that spot or, whatever. But I think starting out Burford, kind of similar to the Kirk Cousins, you know what I'm saying? Idea is that he's the vet to teach the rest of the guys how to do it. And get it done. So, yeah, I think he's probably more the safer one. But there definitely is a competition for that other, in my opinion, the other guard spot. So it could be JPJ or it really could be Rogers.
Yeah, let's not forget Trey Zoon is out there too. But Psych Challenge say, I can see Burford at left guard and Caleb at right guard. There's no world in which I believe that Burford or Caleb Rogers is better than JPJ at either one of those positions. So if that was to happen, I would be thoroughly shocked. And when I say thoroughly, I mean from the rooter to the tutor. I'm thoroughly shocked, and we better trade them. Here go another excellent point. There will be camp battles in both trenches.
Facts.
BXP says, No Glaze staying at tackle. He hasn't gotten any guard reps thus far. I heard today he did some guard reps. If that is true, that's why I don't really like this camp stuff because you can hear different reports from different people. Because I heard one report where only one person missed practice, but then it was somebody else that said it was definitely two people that missed practice. So, I'm not sure, but that was my initial is Glaze is not going to be able to handle what we're trying to do at the right tackle position, but I could be wrong on that. That's why I'm kind of like not 100% on that, or I'm not 100% convinced about that for myself. So you might be right. We'll see. JPJ and Rogers with Rogers at right guard. That's what Webb say. Okay. Alex says, I think Zune and Rogers can challenge for the other guards. Yeah. Burford is a vet, but I hear that he is stiff. Yeah, but it could be a thing like you say, Twine. Like he might lose his job fairly quickly, but I think they might need that experience to start the season with. Because I can definitely see Burford starting. I just don't think he's the best guard that we have, though, or one of the two top guards that we have.
But he has the, I'll say it like this: he has the key to the city at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that actually knows the book. You know what I'm saying? So he has that up on everybody else. Now, if they can get it down, you know what I'm saying? If they can get the book down, and they already, like you said, to your statement that they're more talented, then yeah, by all means, hey. We gonna slide you back down the roster spot, and you're gonna be a rotational guy. You know what I'm saying? Backup.
Yeah.
I think that's how I feel about Zune. I think Zune is not this year. I think Zune is that that six man. You know what I'm saying? This year, and then next year he'll probably, make his way to be a starter.
Yeah, the quickest way to work your way off the field, barring injury, is not knowing the plays and not knowing where to line up. And in this case, as an old lineman, not knowing who to block because you don't know the playbook yet. So Burford, I definitely can see why he would be the starter. I can see that.
And this is not, for them, this is not just block the person in front of you. Like this is this O line is supposed to be moving. You know what I'm saying? So they need to know where to move. They need to know who, you know what I'm saying, who their person of attack is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? If they need to get up, I don't know if they need to get up to the second level and have a conversation with the linebackers. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to know, but they do need to know all that stuff if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Burford is not that good at guard, for sure. But he knows the system because that's why they brought him here. They brought him here. But I agree.
Like we're thinking about Ashton these first 3 days.
He just picked up where he left off. He wants to be a major part of this team. We're going to give him that opportunity.
From Mike Washington as a compliment and how their styles kind of differ between him and Ashton.
Mike's a rookie back in the NFL is hard work, especially in the protection game. So we're giving him a ton of reps there, and just keep him growing. It's a competition with Mike, with Lob, Chris Collier. We have a lot of good backs here, and those guys also know they're always competing with the rest of the NFL's roster. It's not just our room. So just got to keep giving them reps and see who we can count on.
Hey, you know what? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You the MC.
No, you might say the same thing I'm about to say, man. Go ahead.
I want you to say it.
Sometimes you have to read what they say, and sometimes you got to read what they don't say. So the question was asked, what's the difference between Mike Washington and Ashton Jeanty? And what he really answered, Kubiak really answered, was that he just needs to get pass pro. So what does that tell you? What are your Raider senses telling you?
It's telling me that he can be a good third down back. That's what it tells me. Because if the question is, can he push Ashton to the point of it goes from 80-20 to a 70-30 to a 60-40. I heard that the competition isn't with Ashton because he named 3 running backs and none of them name was Ashton. He said Lob, Collier. I thought Collier got released today too, though. I heard from somewhere he got released. And Mike Washington. So it's a matter of who's going to really be that second back. But maybe you heard something slightly different. Let's parse through that.
No, I just picked up that when they asked the question to try to nitpick what Mike Washington has that Ashton Jeanty doesn't have, all Kubiak said was that he just needs to get pass pro together, which means that whatever Ashton Jeanty has is the same thing that Mike Washington has. And that's similar to what I've been saying about those two guys, is that they're very interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to have to, one guy's not solely a pass catcher and the other one's a run through the, run up the middle running back. You can do all of that with those guys. But the only difference with Mike Washington is that he hasn't got the NFL, you know what I'm saying, baptizing yet of pass pro. So he's trying to learn how to, how to effectively pass pro in the NFL. And if he gets that, then those guys are like, you know what I'm saying, like Forrest Gump says, peas and carrots.
Yeah, it looks like Collier was released. He was waived. And I hope he gets to play somewhere else. Best of luck to him. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Let me see. So what did you guys hear in that statement? Let's see. Let's answer this one real quick. Do y'all think McCoy will be a starter or key contributor? He could be the steal of the draft if he pans out.
It's really going to be predicated on how the injury and how they're monitoring it and they're babysitting him. So there's some steps on how much they're using him. So it really is predicated on when they really give him a full go on if he could be a contributor for us. So they're monitoring it, they're watching it. I'm hoping he does, because that just makes our secondary even more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just going to be really predicated on how he responds to his health.
Yeah, I don't think J Mac is going to start. I think they're going to ease him into the process until he gets into game shape, because he hasn't played in the game a full year aside of the injury. Because if the injury is still not really an issue right now, he's still got to get into game shape. So I think he'll work his way to be a starter. I just don't think he'll be an opening day starter.
Good question.
Yeah, great question.
In 3 days, but obviously when you make your plan for how you want training camp to go in OTAs, do you have certain markers that you want this team to hit or in a positive trend, and have they hit those?
I think the number one thing coming in these first 3 days is to see what kind of shape we're in. And I think it's just a testament to Alex Guerrero and AJ and Chris, just our training staff that have got guys ready to go physically to play football. And I said this before, how impressed I am with those guys, but we're really blessed to have great facilities here and a great training staff that got our guys to this point.
We've seen Kirk and Max kind of drawing at their other respective sides, just their energy and their passion for the game. How can that rub off on the rest of the team and kind of push it forward?
Yeah, that's who they are. Max has a fun personality. Kirk Kirk is out there. He's a talker. You know, some guys don't say one word, but who's playing the best ball, that's who we want.
We know the offensive line doesn't have pads on right now, but what have you seen from the communication as far as them just trying to get on the same page just verbally?
You know, I think Rick Dennison and Mario and Pete and just our entire offensive line coaches, you know, they're doing a great job of pushing these guys. And offensive line wise, it's just so important that those 5 guys can come and gel together. And then when one guy goes down, you know, can that next guy play multiple spots? So, you know, we're learning, we're going. I didn't mention Coach Ben as well. We have a lot of good offensive line coaches that are pushing our guys every day.
Great. Thank you.
That,
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
that sticks out.
Let me pause this.
That sticks out because remember we were trying to figure out who he said it that person that comes in needs to play multiple spots. Well,
Yeah.
who is our O lineman that can play multiple spots?
It was definitely Zoom.
So they're already, you know what I'm saying? Zoom at this point is already out of the picture in regards to being a starter because he's already in his mind saying that next person that needs to come in needs to learn how to play multiple spots.
Yeah.
And right now we only have, we do have some guys that play guard and tackle and, you know what I'm saying, guard and center, but we ain't got nobody like Zoom that can play all positions.
Yeah, and Coach Cooper said the other day though that if you're an interior lineman, he said if you play the line other than tackle, you better know how to play multiple positions. That was to everybody that not named Colton Miller and Tyler Lindenbaum. And now maybe even you would think Glaze, and if the reports is true that he played with the guards, which I'm gonna confirm, then yeah, everybody got to learn how to be serviceable. And Ray, about the practices, I think all the practices are sold out now. I think they got all the tickets, so don't get your jet ticket yet, because I think I went to the Raider website and all those practices already sold out. Justice for 12 says, does Hemby make the roster? I didn't hear his name. I haven't heard his name.
Mm-mm. I think he's probably going to end up being a practice squad guy. I'm thinking, they got rid of Collier. I think they may bring in a veteran running back.
Well, they have brought in, they did bring in the guy from Dallas that was injured, but now he's ready to play again the other day. They brought in another running back because I was wondering why we brought in another running back.
It was for a workout. They didn't officially sign him yet.
That's true. Right.
So this might be the situation where they did, they got rid of Collier to make the move to bring, you know what I'm saying, to bring Miles Sanders in. But we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
And right now, Lauby is holding on for dear life. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that's keeping him afloat is what? Special teams.
Yeah, right. Good point. Great point. It says Zoom's versatility gives us much needed depth. What are y'all thoughts of Rick Dennison and Brennan Carroll? Well, it's like if I had a choice between asparagus and ice cream, I'm going with ice cream, and Rick Dennison is the ice cream. Because I think they're night and day.
I think Brendan Carroll was there. There was some politics that in there was more than sugar and ice cubes in the Kool-Aid, and unfortunately, that was why the Kool-Aid never tasted right.
It was Tang. Okay. It's my guy. It's my guy. AOC. And now let me go ahead and say this right off the dribble. He's starting to look like a quarterback. Because one of the things, and believe it or not, you guys might not think this is a thing, but take it from black to quarterback. You got to look the part. Other than sound like the part and play like the part, you got to look the part too, because players really buy into that. And AOC, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing. You looking like a quarterback. You don't look like a guy who growing his first mustache and won't cut it. So I'm liking the new look, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad they threw the mic under the porch and let him talk.
Right?
All right, guys, are you ready? Start with the most important question. I guess we'll run into the hair. And you're competing with AJ.
No, not competing. Trying to partner with, I'd probably say it like that. But I've had short hair my whole life and thought I should grow it out, so I did.
Aiden, today you seemed incredibly comfortable. Is it something that, what is it about this system that you just seem perfectly made for it?
Yeah, I think how our coaches are installing the plays each day, how they're just the efficiency of our meetings, I think is a big part of it. I think the detail orientedness of the meetings and, how the coaches are talking about it, how the players are echoing that, I think is beneficial, not just to myself, but everybody.
Coaches mentioned the quarterback room and how you guys all work together and you're competing, but you're competing with each other, not against each other. How have you seen that kind of come together, that room gel?
Yeah, it's been fun. Obviously, when you're in your quarterback room, you spend a lot of time with each other. And so talking about football a lot, but also talking about life a lot too. So it's been fun to get to know those guys on the personal level. And I think then when you do talk about football, it's a better relationship because of that. And we can all learn from each other. We've all seen different things and had different experiences. So I think it takes a growth mindset from each one of us. And I think that's what each of us have.
To kind of piggyback off that question, Kirk being in the room, what kind of stuff have you taken from Kirk's bag and put into yours?
Yeah, Kirk's obviously seen a lot of football and played a lot of really high-level football in this league. And so really just picking his brain. I'm not really shy about asking questions to him. I like to ask as much as I can. Anything I'm thinking, I try to voice, and he's been extremely receptive to that, and as well as the coaches. So I think just a lot of the questions I've had or Fernando's had or Jacob's had, and just kind of start to dialogue in the room. And obviously Kirk has, seen a lot of it and probably answered that question at some point in his career.
What's it been like having Mike Sullivan in that room and kind of leading you guys?
Yeah, Sully's been a lot of fun. It's been great getting to know him, knowing his background. Super hardworking guy, great supporter to each of us. And obviously it's his first time in the system too, so he's learning it with us. But, just a really good leader, detail-oriented, really cares about us and follows up. I have a question for him. If he doesn't know, he's not going to give me a bad answer. He's going to go figure out the answer, give it to me detailed. So, I really enjoy getting to know Sully.
How does that's how, and not just coaching, but that's how we should all be. I love that aspect of, you ask me a question, I don't necessarily know it, but let me get back to you on that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just tell me, you an answer just to act like you know what you're talking about. Like, to tell me the real answer. Like, hey, I don't know this. Well, let me. I guarantee you, the next time I see you, I'm gonna have an answer for you. Because we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? And we should all be in a state where we can say, oh, I don't know this, but let me get back to you on that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm starting to like Aiden a little bit more and more. Because, and see, this was the thing that kind of pushed me in the wrong way is Aiden has all the things that you like to see in a quarterback. He answers the questions great. He doesn't sound like he's searching for answers. He's comfortable in his skin, and he know what he brings to the table. I get that. I just think the situation is bad for him. So now when people say he haven't had the right situation, he had every opportunity to take a starting position. Anytime you sit a quarterback and you go in, that might be the only time that you get to show that you can take the position and not let it go. But if you go out there and get injured, then that sets you back. So I'm liking what I see from him. I don't know if it's because he's auditioning or whatever it is. I do like this version of AOC. Um, and that's why I was so critical of him answering the question the way he did that day, was because I know how well versed he is. He's been that way since a rookie on how to address the media. He doesn't look like he's shy. He doesn't look like he's overwhelmed. He doesn't even look like a third string quarterback. I'm sorry, Twan, second string quarterback. So I'm starting to like him more and more, and I hope he gets to play somewhere too, just like Collier, because it ain't gonna be here unless somebody get hurt. And then usually when that happens, we play all our quarterbacks. It's not that it stops at the backup. We go through all our quarterbacks once the starter go down.
That's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
That work for you? You've learned a lot of systems from a lot of different coaches since you've been here. So does it ever kind of get jumbled up in your brain or sound, different calls, or how does that work for you?
Not really. I mean, sometimes we have the same verbiage that maybe means two different things in systems. That's probably the hardest, but for the most part, you kind of forget the systems before, at least all the things that you can forget. And then you bring with you the things that have been, beneficial to help me learn. And so, I try to see it like that. Obviously, it's a culmination of experiences at this point. So I'm trying to use it all to my advantage.
This staff is really attentive to detail down to the smallest minutia and really about business, not about hype. That fits into your personality. How much do you think the players are enjoying their approach?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to enjoy the game. I think that's a big part of it, but I think how you go about it is super important. So I think to be focused on the details, I think demands a lot of respect from the players. And I think you can see that across the different rooms, across the different positions. Guys are listening in meetings and they have to, because we're installing quickly and, trying to push the pace on what we can do. And so it's been fun to watch that, again, not just for myself, but all my teammates.
You've gone against Max in practice all your career. Klint was just talking about sometimes you need to game plan in practice just to make sure that he's not disrupting stuff. Just what have you seen from him as he's gotten back on the field?
Yeah, obviously Max he's a game wrecker and he's a special player at his position. And I say often I don't like Max a lot throughout the week during the season, and I love him on Sundays. And so that's just kind of how it's been. Had a lot of reps against him. Obviously, I've played on the scout team against him a lot in my career. So it just makes everyone better. I think it pushes, our offensive linemen, myself, receivers, whoever it is, to be on time, to be locked into our details, because we know he's coming.
You've played on teams that have had like a clear number one receiver, guys that are like, hey, that's the guy. This team seems more interchangeable and kind of a collective. Is that how you see it? And I guess what does that bring for a quarterback?
Yeah, I think so. I think we have a lot of talented guys, and I also think we want to move guys around. And I think the guys we do have different skill sets that they're able to do different things. And so when you have that, you can move them around, you can ask them to do different things and not just, play in one position the whole time. And so I think coaches are doing a good job of mixing guys up and seeing what they can do.
Ashton has talked about growing as a leader more this year. Have you noticed a difference, maybe his vocality and how he kind of enters a huddle and things like that?
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Ashton. I really think he had a really good year last year. I think it was hard on him a lot, and he, wore the brunt of it and worked really hard, was, the same person literally week one to the last week of the season. And so it's cool to see him grow. It's cool to see him be more comfortable, obviously. He's entering his second year with a new system. So it was a little bit of starting over, but he's attacked it and he works super hard. He makes plays literally every practice. So it's been fun to watch him.
Bowers and Tre Tucker this training camp. How does it feel to have such a reliable tight end to be there for years on?
Yeah, obviously we know what Brock can do. He's a special player, super consistent. And again, like Ashton, his work ethic is what leads to that. Brock is always working hard. He knows what to do, right place at the right time. And then on top of that, when you add his, a skill set, it adds to, how special he is.
With Rob Leonard stepping into DC, it looks like there's a lot of moving parts that go on with this defense, because how difficult is that for opposing offense to go up against?
Yeah, it's been fun to see Robbie take over. I've had a good relationship with Robbie for the last couple of years. So it's fun to see him take that next step, and he's doing a great job. And obviously at this point, there's, installing as well, throwing a bunch of different looks at us. So it just, again, makes us better in the quarterback room to have to communicate and, see what they're doing.
All right, last one more, guys. Peyton, you've gotten up and down the depth chart since you've been here. You've seen injuries at the position. How does that keep you alert? That you never know what's going to happen. You may be third now, but in another week you'd be second. That's surgery. Work your way up there.
Yeah, I think I'm really, I care about my routine and try to be as best as I can and, maximize every minute of the day. And so that really hasn't changed, whether I'm the starter or whether I'm the backup or the third string. And so I try to, attack each day like I'm going to get every single rep at practice, because it could be one play, it could be two plays. It's just kind of the game we play. And so trying to attack each day with the same mentality.
Okay. See how he answered that? This is what I'm talking about. See how he answered that? The guy phrased the question like, how do you prepare yourself being the third, working your way up to the second? I know he was using that as an example, but because instead I'm like, he's the second quarterback. But Aiden went so far to say, yeah, well, yada, 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 whether I start. See, you can say that you want to be a starter without sitting up there just being like, I want to start. And I'm going to start. I really like to get a chance to start in this league. Like, I'm thinking that's intentional, because how he intentionally answered that question, like, look, whether I'm the starter, the second, or the third, he didn't buy into what the reporter tried to bait him into. So I love the way he answered that question, because that does show that he has that mentality. I do not have a problem with him having that mentality at all. Let me repeat that, por favor. I do not have a problem with him having that mentality. I love it, and I love the way he framed it right there. And that's how you push like that, in my opinion.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Get AJ, you're trying to look like Joe.
Yeah, no.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Brock, it seems like every practice you make your teammates go ooh and ah. Do you ever watch the film and be surprised at what you do?
Not really. I mean, we're just out there playing football, and guys make plays a lot. So I just go out there and try to make my plays, and they come to me.
Brock, going into this training camp, is there something specific you wanted to work on this season that you might not have worked on a couple seasons before?
Man, like nothing specifically, just always coming out and showing my best every day, and really just running, just playing as hard as I can every single snap out here, because that's what's going to make you better in the game.
What has been your early thoughts on this Klint Kubiak offense that you're obviously?
What'd you say?
That is the biggest flex without flexing. He said, "What?" The question was, "What have you done to improve?" You know what I'm saying, or get better? And he said, I haven't did anything. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest flex ever. I haven't did anything. Why haven't I did anything? Because I'm already him.
Hey, exactly. Himothy.
There's nothing that I need to improve. I'm him. I mean, maybe I'm just overreading it. Y'all help me in the chat, but if you can't rewind that and see how he just, I just didn't, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing really I needed to do.
He just said, I just go out there and act like every day, every snap I'm in the game for real. Like I'm this is what I do. Hold on.
A big part of.
Just
wanted to work on this season that you might not have worked on a couple seasons before?
Man, like nothing specifically, just always coming out and showing my best every day, and really just running, just playing as hard as I can every single snap out here, because that's what's going to make you better in the game.
What has been your early thoughts on this Klint Kubiak offense that you're obviously a big part of?
Yeah, no, it's been great. Coach Kubiak, he's been awesome. He's all football all the time, so all the guys really respond well to him, and really like when he's put in.
So far, developing chemistry with Kirk.
Oh, it's been good. Kirk's man. We've been out here working since OTAs, so it's been really good working with him, and he's a really sharp football mind. He's like a coach out there, so it really helps.
Getting your first 2 seasons under your belt and knowing what you can do, how much higher do you think your ceiling is going into your 3rd year?
Great question.
Oh man, that's tough. I don't know. I just go out there and try to do what I do. I don't know. I don't really kind of think about that. Just always try to be improving.
How impressive have you?
Hey, that's the second flex. Hey, look, check this out, man. It ain't that complicated for me. Just go out there and ball.
That's crazy. Shout
Ain't
out
that?
shout out to Pizzle in the building. Shout out Pizzle Washington.
You feel me? Hey, you can pull up, Pizzle. You already got the keys to the mansion. He said, man, I just do what I do, man, because I'm him. I'm Himothy. Oh man. Let's see. He got the Eddie Monster look. Well, he a monster for real. Quick question by BXP. They didn't mention Robbie. Y'all think he ready? Or is he over his head as DC? I'm gonna let you answer that first. Because I have my thoughts about that.
I think Robbie has an idea of what he wants to put together. I think some of the guys that are retainers, you know what I'm saying, from past regimes, I think he has an idea of how he wants to deploy those guys. It's just really depending on how that defense gels. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, one player can be successful. Yeah, one player can be successful, but we know the best defenses are the defenses that can play like a team. You know what I'm saying? The defense that can gel. So it's really up to the players on how they gel. But I think Robbie's going to be. I think Robbie has the right mindset in putting these guys in the right positions in order for them individually and ultimately collectively to be successful.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you with that because, like you said, players from other regimes also seen how hard he's worked. And they see that and one of the reasons why he got hired, surprisingly to a lot, is because he has a plan, he has a vision, he has a way of executing it. I don't think he's in over his head. I don't think that he might be ready yet because he won't know that until we see what this defense does, because the communication is what's important, and we got to see if it translates on the field. But up until this point right here, I feel like this is not his first job. It doesn't seem like that to me. To me, it doesn't. Um, so just the confidence that he employs, it trickles down to the players, and that's how you get the best out of your players, by being the example, not just barking orders and trying to be the smartest guy in the room all the time. Great question. Great question. Ray Flores, you here so you don't get fined. Thank you. You know what? I said I give extra credit out, and because this is football. This class right here is football 201. If you want to know football 101, there's other creators for that. Here is football 201, and then sometimes we do football 301. If y'all want to see football 301, that was the last class, but this class is football 201. So thank you for hacking in to football 201 so you don't get fined. Let me see. Eric Rader says, I agree with you. He said, I agree with you. I just think he needs another DT to step up. That's why we need Vidi Vidivici. We need him. Think that's why we need him, because if we get that, then I think the happiest person in football would be Coach Robbie, because I'm sure when we got rid of Max, he was bummed. That was going to make his job a little bit more difficult, because he said he wanted to come here to coach Max, and Max was gone. Then Max came back, so he was like, "Oh, I'm winning. I'm playing with house money." So now, if we go out and go get him that D tackle to the level of Vea, he not only is he playing with house money, he playing with outside money. He playing with your money at this point. So if we get that D tackle, I think, man, he might shock a lot of people, including me. And I'm pro Coach Robbie right now. So, well, I'm gonna be pro Coach Robbie regardless. But I think he's gonna surprise me and a lot of other people as well. Let's see here.
How impressed have you been to see Max Crosby out there playing at 100%? Like he hasn't spent 7 months rehabbing.
Yeah, no, it's awesome having him back out there. He brings a whole new energy, whole new juice. So it's really great having him out there. And he's going to help us a lot this year again. So I'm excited to see what he does, and he makes everyone around him better too. So that definitely helps a lot.
The entire office is learning something new. How have you guys been able to gel so far? I know it's very early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just the more reps we get at, the better we're going to be. So I think we've had a good start with OTAs and everything, but we just got to keep it rolling and keep improving every day.
Congratulations on your engagement. What was that like for you? The video was very sweet. You seemed a little nervous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't nervous like 10 minutes before, but yeah, it was really sweet. Glad you said yes.
Because you said yes, right?
Yeah.
So after what you went through last year, is there any change to your approach, your mindset going into this season?
No, it's part of football. Got to go out there and stay healthy. You got to stay available. So just got to play it week to week, and just play ball. You can't think about that.
You talk about staying healthy, staying available. It seems as if you kind of leaned out towards this offseason. Were there anything in your training program or your regimen that you feel like you changed that's going to continue to have longevity this season for you and health-wise?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like kind of preventive stuff. So, like injury prevention stuff's huge. So just staying in shape all off season, and really just just focusing on football. That's it's been a good time. So I'm excited to see what happens this year.
It seems like every big play today, you were a part of it. What about this new scheme allows it to click for you so quickly?
It's just me and all the guys, we've been studying really hard and getting after it in the meeting. So there's a lot of attention to detail with this offense. So I'm excited to see when we keep building on it and keep growing mentally.
Has there been anything that stood out to you about the quarterback room, the way it's made up now?
They're all just great guys and just great locker room guys too. Everyone's great to have in the locker room, and then they're all super smart too. So that definitely helps. It's like having another coach, all four of them. So it's been good.
As you mentioned, Coach, I'm wondering, what kind of culture are you feeling being built here with the team, his messages, and how that's different from the past experience?
A lot of messages. It's about being connected as a team, going out there and, working hard every single day and just building, and then results will come after. And, just focus on improvement, focus on, intensity out there and, just getting after every day.
You talk about the Georgia connection and how the communication on the defense and stuff like that, but is there any of that communication between you and them from offense to defense with your former Georgia guys? Oh yeah,
we talk a little bit, and it's good to have them here. They're a huge help, and they're all great players over there. So I'm excited to see what they do. But no, offense always talking defense, seeing what if we're giving anything away, or because that's training camps for to see what you're doing bad against them. They can communicate with us, we'll communicate with them. So yeah.
How difficult was last season, just from as a mental standpoint, dealing with not being 100%? And do you think you benefit from that in the long run?
Last season was definitely tough, especially first game. Getting banged up a little bit, but definitely had to persevere and fight through some things throughout the year. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes this year.
Seeing you and Michael on the field at the same time a lot. Just what do you like about those heavy sets that are in a part of this Kubiak offense, and how do you think they benefit your game?
Yeah, no, I think those heavy 12, 21 personnels, and just that. I think there's so much versatility, especially with Mike out there. He can do so many things like running routes. He can run routes really good. He runs the ball really good, and he freaking blocks really extremely well. So I'm excited to see how we incorporate him and what he does out there.
You talking about Mike Washington? Is that who he was? Yeah, I think he
those heavy 12.
Field at the same time a lot. Just what do you like about those heavy sets that are in a part of this Kubiak offense, and how do you think they benefit your game?
Yeah, no, I think those heavy 12, 21 personnels, and just that. I think there's so much versatility, especially with Mike out there. He can do so many things like running routes. He can run routes really good. He runs the ball really good, and he freaking blocks really extremely well. So I'm excited to see how we incorporate him and what he does out there.
All right, thanks, Travis.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I wanna say congratulations to Brock Bowers on his engagement, and that's always a blessing when you can find your person and get married, especially in a time when people think there's no benefit for a man to get married, especially a high value man with the money and all that other stuff. So shout out to him for that. And if he needs to go get some information from Kirk Cousins, he needs to find out where he got his hair plugs from, because Kirk Cousins' hair plugs is doing his thing. And you see how Brock Bowers came out, the first thing he does all the time is fill that hairline. I was surprised he came out there with no hat on this time. He must be feeling himself. He's still high off the engagement. So go on to get with cousin Kirk and find out where them hair plugs coming from. Let me see. Have we heard anything about the Christian Wilkins situation? No, I haven't heard much about it other than he was doing too much. Twan had a funny joke about him in the last stream, which was very funny, but I haven't heard about him at all. And how much is Vega looking for? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much he's looking for, but I think we got it, whatever it is. All right. For all the people that's wondering who's the wide receiver one on this team, he wears number 1. In case you don't know.
There he is.
All right, questions for Trey?
It seems like this receiving core is kind of a collective. Like there's not one necessarily standout guy. It's a bunch of guys that are trying to do the work. Is that how you see it? And I guess how can that help you guys perform when everybody kind of just has a role?
Yeah, I think for us, our offense is so multiple that right now you're just seeing guys everywhere, and I think that's for a reason, because I don't think really anywhere you just have a guy that does one thing. You want to be able to have multiple guys that can do multiple things. So that's what they're trying to figure out, giving everybody an opportunity to show how much they can do, and that'll help us come season time.
How are you and Jalen similar as receivers, and where do you think you're most different?
Yeah, he's I think we complement each other really well, and he's been really cool to work with. That's my guy, and I think we're gonna do really cool things this year, and he's gonna be a big part of the team, and he's gonna have a big role. And I think for us, it's just like I said, we complement each other well. We both can do a bunch of things, and there's things that he can do really well, and there's things that I can do really well, and you put them together, and it's gonna help the team.
What part of this offense do you feel like is going to help you take your game to the next level, even more so?
I think just everybody being on the same page. How can we get better? As a unit, because
there we go.
I'm not the only one out there. There's 10 other people. So
there we go.
How can we all get better? How can we all know what we have to do? How can we all communicate well? Because that's what good football teams do. They communicate well. They all know what they're supposed to do. It's 11 as one, and however we can do that, I think that'll help us all.
How do you feel you're acclimating to this new look of the offense?
Oh, great. I've been a part of 4 different systems, so for me, it's all football at the end of the day. And I think people just call it different. There's some of the same terminology that I've had in the past, so it's not that it's not that much, honestly. And it's really cool.
See, this is why I never let that be the reason. Because they say, well, this person had this many coordinators and this and that. That's the NFL. The NUFL. Not for long. So you have to be versatile and smart to understand, like, hey, you might be in a different system next year. And that can't be a reason why you don't succeed. And to hear Trey say it's not really that big of a deal, that's how I feel about it. I'm like, hey, it comes with the territory. It's par for the course.
Going back to the buy-in, have you seen your teammates and the rest of the
there's some of the same terminology that I've had in the past, so it's not that it's not that much, honestly, and it's really cool.
Going back to the buy-in, have you seen your teammates and the rest of the guys around the locker room? Have you seen them buy into what they're selling and talking about to help build this team this year?
1,000%. That's everyone in the building, from strength staff to nutrition, to athletic training, second floor, third floor. everybody has 100% buy-in, and that's what you want. And that's going to help us win games. And that's, like this whole building is one. Everybody operates as one. And this is the first year that I felt that it's completely like that. And that's, hats off to all those people that have, put it together. Obviously head coach, GM, Mark Davis, AJ, Chris, AG, all those guys, just fighting to make that, the reality here at the Raiders.
We about to do it, y'all. We about to do it. I'm convinced. I done drunk the Kool-Aid now. Like y'all been drinking the Kool-Aid, all these different regimes and all that. I usually don't buy into it until I kind of see it try to play out a little bit because I can foresee certain things and I want to see if I'm there or not. I'm buying in. I'm going all in like poker. I'm all in because I'm hearing way too many things that's uniformed. And like I said, you win championships from the top down, not the player up. And now, and I also mentioned that everything has to be in unison, all the way from the top to the bottom. And I'm not. And when the bottom is the fan base, we have to be in one accord. We're part of the we and not the me. Me want to see Mendoza. Me want AOC to do this. Me want a new wide receiver. Me want a wide receiver one. Me want to. Man, everybody is buying in on the same page, saying the same thing. And I get that people say the same thing because it's media, but I think this team really mean it, and it's showing. It's showing at every level that we are at. We're right there in the thick of things. Now, am I saying we're gonna win the Super Bowl? No, I ain't saying that. Am I saying we're going to the playoffs? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we didn't, when you go in the wrong direction in a plane, you can't just right around. You have to make a U before you can go back the other way. And I think we're not in the middle of the U. I think we're turning around now, and now we're starting to go back in the right direction that we're supposed to be. Yeah, it might take a little bit of extra time because we had to make an in-flight adjustment, and I just think that we're going in the right direction. And I just see what it is. Like I said, I've had more goosebumps about about this Raider team than I've had about them the rest of the years that I've watched them play, and probably more than half of my life about other things in life. So I'm there. I'm bought in. And so that's it for me.
Yeah, I think they're we're tugging in the right direction. I think he's saying everybody's buying in. That's something that that is definitely a need, especially if you're trying to turn this thing around. And I think there was a little shade that was thrown out, what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Here go a great question. I love Tuck. I'm glad you called him that because I'm gonna start calling him Nip Tuck now. Because he's gonna be nip tucking all year long. Because they think he's just an inline receiver that runs deep. I think he's gonna nip tuck the whole season and surprise us all and just nick them but don't cut them. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. So the question is, I love Tuck. Do you really think he's the number one wide receiver? Just trying to keep it a buck. Our number one option wears 89, in my opinion. No, that's not an opinion. That's a fact. 89 is that guy. He is a number one target. Now, is he a wide receiver one? To me, that's a whole different question. Because Brock Bowers is not a wide receiver, and he's not wide receiver one. The wide receiver one has to be able to stretch the field or have the defense react to him more so than the tight end, because the tight end ain't running all the way down the field every play like that to keep the spacing on the field. Now, do I think he's the number one wide receiver? I do. Does every receiver have a wide receiver one, regardless if he's high level or not? Tucker's going to be our wide receiver one. Um, and even when last year, when certain players went down there, when we lost Jacoby Meyer, somebody else had to step up and be that guy. Being the number one wide receiver isn't just production based. It's about how you carry yourself. Are you a leader in that locker room when it comes, or in that grouping of the wide receivers? and all that. And I think he's doing an exceptional job, especially being a fourth round guy and a guy that's undersized is not like normal. But what I'm understanding about being the number one wide receiver isn't just a boundary wide receiver; it's a wide receiver that plays in the slot. A lot of the number one wide receivers like the JSNs and the Armon Ross St. Brown, and I'll even go back. I'm about to go back to the Kanye Black, like y'all call me, and that's funny because my friends call me that. Kanye Black attitude with the white T-shirt days. Um, Wes Walker, Edelman. They were wide receiver ones while Gronk was on the squad. They was wide receiver ones when Randy Moss was on the squad. Yeah, they might have had more numbers, but they had more targets. And that's what I hope for him to grow in that number one position where you can take some of the targets away from Brock and you become a focal point, because if they don't respect the wide receivers running around, you can condense the defense down to slow Brock down. And over usage of Brock is gonna shorten his career. Is done that so many times, including Gronk. And it's even Kelsey. He was the number one option for a long time. And granted, he's still playing, but the only thing he really does is run to the zone and turn around. He don't even run routes no more. He just
Right.
run. He just run to the open spot in the zone and turn around. That's all he does, and that's simply because uh, his overusage. And they have an intricate. I mean, they have a special offense because they have a Mahomes or whatever, whatnot. But just in a basic sense, I think we need to take some of them targets away from Brock, and one of these receivers, Tre Tucker, needs to get more targets to keep the defense honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody in the NFL is really going to be checking for our wide receivers, and that might actually be a benefit for us. They're really fixing. Oh, let's just lock down on Brock Bowers, and then all of a sudden, all these other guys are going off. You know what I'm saying? I think is we're more dangerous when you have multiple options out there instead of just having one or two. And I think we're, especially at wide receiver, who knows to be the one that goes off that game. You know what I'm saying? Like if they really key in on Brock Bowers, then that leaves Tre Tucker on a one-on-one. That means Naylor's on a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Dante Thornton on a one-on-one. Jack Bech on a one-on-one. And who knows what happens, in that situation with the quarterback that can deliver them the ball on time and with accuracy. So I think that's the goal even of Kubiak is like, I could run with, guys that may necessarily, technically be number twos, but they're all number twos. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, it could be definitely
We ain't got to force
benefit.
feed just one wide receiver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said Tucker can get the job done. Just give him the ball in stride, and he gonna open up. And he opened up so much last year. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. That was an awesome question. Awesome question. Because if you guys go back and look at some of them old games when Tom Brady was QB, remember he is with this franchise. So he has some insight with that. I think that's something that we can just share the wealth, because, like you said, if you don't know who's going to beat you this week at the wide receiver position, that means you have to game plan for all of them. Now, granted, you might not game plan for them like they like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase and all that, but even they get kind of uh, shut down, so to speak, because they're a focal point. Maybe not statistically, but the ability to win games. Because that's why you see that Cincinnati is kind of peaked out already, and they're trying to find their way. That's why you found like even Buffalo with Allen. You know, they had to change. They changed a good coach that they had, but it just wasn't working because they because what they're doing best is not good enough because they are easier to scheme because you know who the focal points are. And like you said, the gift could be in the curse is that people don't know who's going to hurt them this week. And then once it gets to the point where, hey, you know what, we got to start paying a little bit more attention to these wide receivers. So let's take a step back a little bit. That gives Brock Bowers the breathing room to just kill him softly.
Mentioned the we amongst you guys in the wide receiver room, excuse me. What does pushing each other, holding each other accountable look like for you guys in that room?
Yeah, I think for us, you know, we just want to be, you know, as a group, we just want to be, you know, really good on the field. And what that means is like doing our part, you know, like we can't go out there and not blocking and expect to, you know, catch touchdowns. It just doesn't work like that. So, you know, it's just the little things for us, you know, making sure that everyone goes out there first and foremost, they know what to do, because that's the most important thing. You can't play fast if you don't. And then just doing your job. It's that simple. You know, when that happens, good things come to you, the ball will find you.
No block, no rock. And I said in this Kubiak system, you have to be able to block. You have to be able to block and know who to block. And I know Tucker has that ability to do that. And I think that's why a lot of these guys bulked up because we have to do the blocking. And it's that simple. It's just simple. It's not complicated. So I love I'm locked in. I'm locked in, y'all. I see what's going on here. So I'm juiced, bro.
What's it been like working with Kirk Cousins so far? What kind of personality is he add to the quarterback room?
Oh, man, he's contagious. You know, he's like old head dad, but like has a joke for every second of the day, you know. And I'm really appreciate my time working with him. You know, it's making me better. And, you know, just the way he sees football, you know, it's very bright IQ. And that was a great addition for us to add him and, you know, for all of us to learn from him because it's going to make us all better and what he knows and, you know, what he's been through and how well he's played over all the years that he has been playing. It's going to really help us this fall.
Instead of being ranked on a roster, how much do you feel like this wide receiver core all brings something different?
Yeah, everyone has different skill sets, and that's what you want. You don't want just all the same guys that just, you know, just doesn't work like that, and that's not really what you want. So you want guys with different skill sets that can do different things, but at the same time, you want them to all do things similar. You know, you don't want it to just be drastic because then, you know, that goes in a lot of football things of, you know, who's on, who's off the field. So you want those guys to have different, you know, skill sets, but be very similar at the same time.
Said that he's feeling more comfortable out there, but still has a ways to go. Just where have you seen him grow since, you know, mini camp and OTAs?
Just his mental IQ. He's nonstop, and you know that's what you want, especially, you know, from him. You know, being where he's been, he doesn't turn it off. Every day he's trying to get better, and I'm watching him in meetings. You know, he's listening, taking the corrections. You know, and those are the type of things that you want to see from a guy like him, and he has a very bright future.
What does that mean to the locker room where he's not coming in expecting things handed to him, but he's coming and trying to earn everyone's respect?
That's the culture. You know, that's the culture that we're building. You know, anybody that comes to the Raiders, you know, it all has to be earned, no matter who you are, where you come from, if you're here, if you're not here. We want everybody to come and, you know, feel that they have to, you know, earn everything they're doing, because at the end of the day, that's how life works.
So I hope that will stop people from saying things are being handed to Kirk Cousins, handed to Fernando, handed to Ayton, handed to anybody. The culture is you got to earn it. Kubiak already said it in so many words. First person act up, first person get drug out. That when I say act up, I don't necessarily mean you're doing something negative. If you act out of what we trying to do, then you're gonna get drug out. I mean, I don't know why Laffy Taffy up out of here, Locky Tassi. We all loved him, but that just goes to show you it ain't about what, like Coach Coop said. Hey, it ain't about your personality. You can be you, but it better translate on the field, because if it don't, you're gonna be you somewhere else.
I think with him it was a numbers game. I think we have a bunch of D tackles that we're trying to figure out how they're going to be used, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, we didn't have you know his where he was in his level of skill. You know what I'm saying? We're not we don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? At this point. Um and I think it was gonna be a hard time for him to make the roster anyway.
Yeah,
So
like roster casualty.
yeah.
But I thought he was part of the international program, so he automatically gets a spot.
I think Tokyo Toe is also IP.
Mm, yeah.
So I don't know how that plays out. Hey, who knows? He might come back. There's always still that option.
Yeah.
He might come back mid season, and who knows? You know what I'm saying?
He might make the practice squad.
Yeah.
Put up some big plays today. How does having a player like Rock really help you in the offense?
He's amazing. He makes life a lot easier for everyone. And he's been the best at what he's done, since he's been in the league. And, for a guy like him, like I said, it opens up things for everyone. But he's a very unselfish guy. He's a team first guy. And I think that's what makes him even more better, So love working with him. He's a great person. He actually does talk a lot if you know him. And I'm very excited to share the field with him this year.
We've seen Malik make a lot of big plays so far in camp. Just how have you seen him have success on the field?
Man, I'm so excited for him, just because as an older guy, coming to the league with the guys that I had in my room, the one thing you want to see is just see a young guy be, they want to get better. They're not going through the motions, and Leak comes in every single day and wants to get better. And he is getting better every play, every rep. And he can run all day. And, that's something that I told him that makes you, superhero in a way, because if you can run all day, you can play fast, there's a spot for you here. So I'm excited for him. I have him under my wing, just to keep him, going, because, I know what it's like to be a rookie. So I'm very excited for him, and I think he's going to be a very big part of us this year too.
With that being said,
personnel we're seeing, sorry. Okay. In the 12 personnel we're seeing in this scheme, how does that help you on the outside?
Honestly, for me, bigger bodies on the field. The defense has to, guard something different. And for me, like, I'm always on the outside, so it's kind of, you're like on an island out there. So there's not really too much you're thinking about inside, but when you do, I guess you do. But just makes it hard for the defense.
it's early in the process, but what are you seeing from guys like Hezekiah Masses, even Jermod McCoy, the young DBs that are out there going up against you?
Z, I'm very impressed with him, and I tell him that every day. When I see him, I'm like, hey, keep going. We're gonna make each other better. He caught my eye actually. I was watching rookie minicamp, just seeing, looking at the guys, and I was like, who is 35, man? Like he's over everyone. Like, and then actually getting to go against him, I can see it. He has the mentality. He's super locked in, and that's what you want to see from a young guy. And he's a guy that I think actually has a really, really, really bright future. And Jermod as well. I call him Rook. That's his nickname. But he's a special talent. You guys know that. He was really a first-round guy and all that. And, he's going to come into his own. I'm very excited to see him get out there. He's been working very hard, getting to where he needs to be. And, the AG and Chris and all those guys and AJ, they've been taking really good care of him.
With Coach Kubiak coming into the season, what is something that you have learned from him that has truly resonated with you?
I think, we're here to win games, and I think he's very, I don't know the word for it, but we're just not here to mess around. We're here to get work in. Like, there's no extra stuff. And, I think that's going to go a long way. Like, it might not mean a lot to some people right now, but, come November, come October, it's going to be the same message. And, when you're coming here, we're coming to work, and we'll go have fun on Sundays when we're winning. So that's kind of the message. Just come in with your head down and work. We're not all the outside stuff, leave that outside. And when you're coming here, like, let's work and let's get better and let's change this thing around.
Would you say he is like all business and is expecting a lot from you guys?
I wouldn't say he's all business. He has a very good personality. He's just I would say very caring. Like, he loves this. Like, I mean, this is, he's one of 32, so and some of these, and all of us are, we're all a part of a team in the NFL. So we get to take this amazing opportunity and do something with it. And while we're here, let's maximize it.
All good, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm seeing. And man, I think I need to go look at other team press conferences and see how their teams are sounding because I want to make sure I'm not overly biased of what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing because I'm starting to really, really love what we're doing here and what I'm hearing, the message, a uniform message, and it's the work. People say it all the time about the work. And it's obvious that we are putting in the work and the culture has been established already because we were trying to find a culture. We were trying to define a culture or recreate a culture under Pete Carroll. It just didn't happen. He tried to, but this is not a try league. This is a league of results. So I just think we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. So the only thing I need to see at this point is how we react and pass.
Yeah, they're in a place where, the guys, the thing that benefits us is that the veterans of these rooms, they're all good character guys. You know what I'm saying? Tre Tucker is the leader in that wide receiver room. And, as much as people may not want to agree with that, Tre Tucker's character is a let's go get this work. You know what I'm saying? Let's go put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So it benefits us that the guys that we did retain, you know what I'm saying, some of the guys that we did draft are guys that are willing to work. And that's what it's going to take, you know what I'm saying, along with the young pups, you know what I'm saying, that they're bringing along to get that job done. Same thing with the running backs. You know what I'm saying? We just got Genty, but Genty's the leader in that room. But they know Genty's about that work. So Mike Washington better be out there trying to be about that work. You know what I'm saying? And all that trickles down. And then especially when you got a head coach that is all, every time someone asks him, ask them what they think about who Kubiak is, they say he's all football. So if he's all football, and then you got players that are always in the gym and putting in the work, what do you think is going to eventually? I'm not saying it's not going to be an overnight thing, but it's eventually going to translate.
Yeah, Henry Mack, welcome. He says maybe Tre Tucker balls out in a Kubiak system with elite QB accuracy. Yeah, like if you hit him in stride, he's gonna be 88 and out the gate. It's gonna be hard to catch him because even in his rookie year, he was in spots. He was showing how his speed is his superpower, and
Yep.
and yeah, they had some questions about the way he was catching the ball, but I'm seeing progression every year. I'm expecting a big year from this guy. So uh, shout out to him, man. And shout out to the team itself because I'm not so caught up with the results as much as I'm caught up with the process, and I'm in love with the process because I love the process.
I agree. I'm all for the process because I have faith in the guys that are in these rooms. I don't at right now. I can't even run anybody on the top of my head outside of Max Crosby that is like a knucklehead at times. You know what I'm saying? Like I think everybody else is pretty like let's put in this work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna be act like I'm gonna cross the line. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's clean cut, in my opinion. Like I mean, so that's it.
I see it. I see what you did there. See what you did there, Chaplain. I see what you did there. I don't think nobody worked harder than Max though, even though he's a habitual line stepper.
You know what I'm saying? So even with the knucklehead, he's still an example in the gym. You know what I'm saying? He's still an example when you pumping that iron. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it still helps out the overall team. So,
No, you're right.
but
You're
I
right.
mean, we've had years past. We've always had one of those guys is like, oh. You know what I'm saying? People felt like that with Jack Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what I'm saying? Marcus Peters. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
there was always one of them that at least one of them that was like, okay, let's keep an eye on this dude. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't think somebody in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Put it in the chat. Let me know if there's somebody that is like that. But I don't think we got any of those guys.
Mr. Habitual Line Stepper. He said a crazy work ethic is underrated. It wins. Yes, for sure. For sure. Who y'all know works 2 jobs? Not many people. And Kubiak strike me as that kind of guy. Minimum 80-hour work weeks. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I agree.
Hey, I mean, he the only one that says he's excited without looking like he excited.
You ain't never lie right there. You might try to do that. Be like, are you excited about what's going on? Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to everything that's coming on. I'm in love with the process. I love what the guys are doing. I love how hard we've been working on this podcast. I mean, Raider Twanden did like 5 hours today. I did like about 7 hours a day of streaming. We worked extremely hard. I'm very excited. I'm happy. I'm joyful. And let's get this work. Yeah, I'm gonna work on it.
That's exactly how Kubiak be looking, dog. I'm like, it's kind of one of those things. Like, can you crack a smile every once in a while? You know what I'm saying? I know. Life is wonderful for you. I know it is. But
Right.
can you please every once in a while let us know that life is wonderful.
Well, to bring up a point, the one time I can put my finger on when he was excited and he showed it is after he won that Super Bowl, and when they asked him, was he going to be the next Raider coach, and he was like, "You already know, hell yeah." So I mean, that's the one time I seen him, get outside of frame. But at that point, the season was over. So
Yeah.
that says a lot about who we dealing with here, Mr. 80-hour work week. So yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. He definitely strikes me as that guy that's going working day and night. You feel me?
And
So
you know what, Black. I also like the fact that I think we can confidently say that if Kubiak says something in the press conference, it's not too much reading in between the lines. We can kind of take it for, you know what I'm saying, for law. You know what I'm saying? Like if he tells you flat out, hey, I'm trying to see if Mike Washington can get pass blocking, we know that's something that is really, because it seems like he's such a straightforward person. You know what I'm saying? There's really not much sugarcoating in regards to now, like I said earlier, there might be some things he might hold, close to his chest because, he don't necessarily have to divulge that information. But anything else, I think is pretty much straightforward with Kubiak.
yeah, it's not a whole lot of coach speak out of him, but he does have some. Like this is a even quarterback competition that he was kind of fudging a little bit on that, but I
Yeah.
understand why he did that is because you don't want to isolate any of the quarterbacks. You don't want to do that. So that was a one collective group. So there is some coach speak, but that don't even happen a lot. So yeah, he's pretty much a straight shooter. What you see out of him is what you're gonna get out of him, and that's to be appreciated. But it's usually hard to ready to like believe in someone when you're not sure what they mean by what they say.
Mm.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So yeah, that was a pressure. I'm really excited. That was the presser. I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to the season. We making it through our first week with uh, minimal distractions and injuries, and we're taking care of business, and we're on track. So I'm. I mean, I know it's time for us to get some rest, brother. If you don't have anything else, I can close this out.
Hey man, all I'm gonna say is Raider Twan on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Those that are over on, you know what I'm saying, the Business Decisions Sports, come on over to Raider Twan and hit that subscribe button. Show me just a little bit of love, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because I love you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid to say that to another man. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I love everybody, you know what I'm saying? You may not love me, but know that I love you because the God in me tells me to love each and every one of you guys. So I'm learning how to love, and I hope that you guys can receive the love by me being on panel and giving you guys you know how I feel and the love that I have for the Raider Nation. So love each and every one of you guys. If nobody hasn't said that to you today, know that Raider Twan loves you, and definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you at it, my man.
Feel me? Yeah, you got a lot of love on this stream. I'm looking at the analytics, and your people showed up and showed out. I'm just saying, I don't think you can see it from where you are, but they are in full force right now. So much I don't even want to end the stream because they thick in the building. But I do appreciate you guys for like popping in and hacking in with us with Business Decision Sports and Ritter Twine, and you know how it goes. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the loyalty. You could have been anywhere, but you here with us. And, thanks for hacking into the show. As you guys already know, there's only one nation. That's the Raider Nation. And I'm a Raider. He's a Raider. You're a Raider. No matter if we in the Bay, LA, or Las Vegas. I'm a Raider though.
I'm a Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.